No!
White and road and tree and stone.
I feel like you're quoting something there, but I don't.
I'm speaking like an ent. Is what I'm doing. I'm not. I believe it's rock and tree and stone, but I don't remember the rest of the line. Ent broth is cool. I wish I had ent broth.
Darkness.
Do you know what ent broth is? You familiar with Tolkien's extended story? You know when he wrote the books to accompany the movies, and he made like an extended version of all those scenes.
No, I don't really remember them.
Well, he wrote a scene, to accompany the famous end scenes of the movie where Merry and Pippin, they like get taken to Treebeard's like home, and he has this spring that's just like pooling on like in his home, and the hobbits like drink from it.
Yep,
and they get taller. Ent broth is just like this water that just makes you taller.
That wasn't in the extended edition of the books. It was in the extended edition of the movies.
You're not wrong. It is also in there, but it is also in the books. And
because Tolkien was so vividly inspired by Peter Jackson's vision.
I know, it's really a good thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the classic storytelling adventure of the Lord of the Rings, the books, and Silmarillion. That he decided to go back and flesh out the movies in such a grandiose way.
It's amazing that Tolkien was able to get so much out of a career of writing fan fiction.
And the fact that he managed to actually shorten the Hobbit movies into one concise package. Got him! Jackson. You're too easy, mate. You're too easy.
Too easy, son. Oh, it makes me sad. It makes me sad for like how good of a reputation and how much good work Weta Workshop does. Just how their latest independent films have just been garbage.
Yeah,
like I enjoyed the spectacle of Mortal Engines, but
I haven't seen that movie. Maybe that's
Didn't you watch it with us?
No, I wasn't there for that one.
It's just Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
It's just. They took all of the unique elements out of it and made it Star Wars.
I know that one city like consumes another city, and I don't know how that...
scene.
What?
In the opening scene.
Oh, is that the opening? Well, I didn't spoil anything then. I was worried I was like spoiling like a plot twist. Like this is when this city is destroyed and everyone's really sad. It's like the Great Hinamizawa disaster.
That is how the plot gets established. Is our main character's city is eaten and she then has to survive on London.
She's cityless. Oh no, she's in London. Wait, so she was in the other city, and then when it got eaten, she like ended up in London. How does that work? How does a city eat another city?
Because London's just fucking huge. It's massive.
All right, it's kind of like the Roman Empire, I guess. How they like consume other cultures. What a fun idea! All right, what's happening? The preparation for tomorrow's festival is moving right along at the Frude Shrine.
What's the festival doing? How can they do the festival with
Narika?
With Narika just dead?
I don't know, dude.
She's been dead for 48 hours.
They'll have to go to her house and see if she's there.
Oh, no.
And then they'll uncover Akasaka.
No, Akasaka will just be wearing Rika's clothes and has figured out how to shrink down to size.
Yes, he's drank the reverse.
And he'll be like, I cut my hair. Sorry, I cut my hair.
And dyed it so it wasn't this freakish blue color anymore. And also Sadako is gone. Wait, no, he cuts himself in half, obviously, because
we have to get rid of her legs.
Is just over. I mean, look, cutting him in maybe in thirds because he's like so tall. Because then you can make Arika and
but we said last time he was like 20 feet tall, so it's like he probably just has the power to change his height. I reckon that's just something he can do.
But he has to look like two little girls because there's two little girls living in the
Unless he's got to look like three because Hanyu exists in this universe.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. So we cut him into thirds, and that roughly makes a slightly taller than average, Rika, Sadako, and Hanyu.
Makes sense to me.
That makes sense to me. The preparation is moving along at the Frude Shrine. What?
They would all be over 6 feet tall if we were cutting him into even thirds.
They had a growth spurt. Rika finally got that growth spurt she's been looking for.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of this case.
Out my legs.
Finally, we'll be able to defeat the mountain puppies.
Look, as we all know, that's Rika's dramatic tension in the anime is that she can't grow out her hair and her legs. That's the body parts that she's most concerned about not growing out because she never gets old.
And then she gets trapped at the top of a tower and she has to get rescued by
Akasaka.
Yes,
obviously.
Who is also her.
Who is also her. 1/3 of himself is basically the same as Arika.
Vans and pickup trucks.
Vans and pickup trucks are bringing in tents and equipment And the village youth group and some middle-aged men are unloading them.
So that's just the club then?
I was going to say, who's in the village youth group? I thought the club was the village youth group. Like, what is the village youth group?
Well, it was those people that came and looked for corpses during Wada Nagashi, remember?
I remember that. I also remember them like setting things up in the first arc.
But like youth group's like a relative thing,
because that means they're out of school, which means they're like 20-something.
No.
Right?
You misunderstand. It's the school-age kids in the club, right? And then there's like the 70-year-olds and like Keiichi's parents around like, 50 or 60-year-old. Yeah. That's the youth group because they're youths to the elders and then the children. So there's like a gap in the middle.
That makes sense to me. Considering we never see them. Also, I believe in the PS3 version, like one of the guys just helping out the festival is a cop. There's just like a policeman who's like part of the construction work, which has always confused me. I don't know.
Why? They have their local cop. They got the local police stand, which is just one phone.
It's true. One single phone. I heard Rika-chama is really sick. Oh, I hope she's okay and not dead. What's your best old person voice?
I heard she didn't go to school again today.
Boo.
I hope she gets better soon.
Not silly enough. Oh, Dr. Iri, how is Rika-chama doing?
Oh, she's dead.
She's deceased. Oh, well, she had a bad cold, but she's starting to get better. She still needs to take it easy, though. I just went to see them and told them to stay in bed.
I see Sadako-chan is sick too, huh?
Terrible.
With both of them staying home and sick together, I'm sure they can't help but play around.
That is not a good voice.
It's not.
It's not a good voice.
I'm really just running out of them.
I think look, we've been doing this for 3 years.
We've long since run out of voices.
More than 3 years.
The problem is that like
we're not trained voice actors.
Well, I mean clearly.
Yeah.
But we just, I feel like all of the other voices that I was trying to teach myself, I spent them all in Kikonia, and now I feel like I can't use them here. And
sure you can't. It's the end. What? It just means I'll have to go back to Kikonia.
The only way I'll be able to speak as the South African old person I've always dreamed of is if every sentence begins with bloody prawns.
Oh, considering they got sick at the same time, Rika-chama and Sadako-chan are really close, huh? Oh, that was Kimiyoshi. Apparently. You this guy.
Kimiyoshi-san, Dr. Irian just told us that Rika-chama and Sadako-chan are starting to get better.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. Oh, that's good. Oh, by the way, about tomorrow's performance, you don't think she'll be able to do it, do you?
No, you'll have to wear the outfits, Kimiyoshi.
You'll have to wear the maid outfit. It would be very cute. She says she's going to do it anyway. If you asked her, don't tell him that. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to oblige, but as a doctor, even if she didn't have a fever today, I'd rather not let her do it. That's no good. Oh, Oreo-san, Rika-chama is getting better, but she still has to stay in bed. Well then, we can't force her. We go in full Gruntilda. Well then, we can't force her and then see her collapse during the ceremony. People will say it's the curse of Ashura-sama. Oh, well, the villagers are really worried. They say there might be a curse again this year. Besides, it's Sadako Hojo-chan and Rika-chama, you know. Oh, some people are imagining some really horrible things. Nitwits! Rika-chama is the reincarnation of Ashura-sama. She was cursed. Oh, the whole village would perish. Don't even suggest things like that. You Klongo? Got him. Got him. No, you're right. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Irie, can I go see them? Or please, let the rest for a while. They're covering and they're at an age where they want to play.
Aren't they in her fucking house? How does she not know?
I don't think she knows. I don't think anyone's told her. It's either she's putting on an act, which would be a character, but like I like to imagine that she's like, what's all that ruckus in the other half of the house? And Mia just sticks her head like nothing.
Don't worry.
Just me hanging out. Also, where's Shion? Is she still at St. Lucy's right now? She must be.
I fucking know.
Why is she not part of this? What's happening?
She's gonna come in at the end with Kasai, and they're gonna punch a couple of mountain dogs.
I'm ready for
and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be their whole.
You think
appearance.
Kasai's gonna punch people? I think that's his like weapon of choice.
I mean, he's got to be up close and personal.
Oh, that's fair. It's fair. Some sense. Hold on. Cut that.
I'm not cutting that. What even happened?
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at your comment. Someone visiting them would be too stimulating as they're sure to get out of bed.
What comment are you laughing at?
It doesn't matter now. You don't know. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I find it very funny.
Good.
Anyway.
Crabs.
I see. I guess I should. Doctor, take care of them, all right? Not just Rika-chama, but Satoko-chan too. Really? That's surprising, says Ira in his head. Oyo-san always acts as if she doesn't even see Satoko-chan, but she just asked me to take care of Satoko-chan too. Sure, absolutely. I'll make both Rika-chan and Satoko-chan better. You can count on me. If something happens, people will say it's the curse of Oishiro-sama. Dr. Irie, don't you think it's foolish to talk about things like curses when we're in the 1980s? When people have gone to the moon?
People haven't gone to the moon.
They have. They have now. Yeah, I do. During the damn conflict, we used stories like that for our own needs. The damn conflict is over now, but as long as we keep talking about the curse, the damn conflict will never end. Are you saying that if Satoko-chan dies, people will say that it's the curse of the damn conflict? The damn conflict is over. If a village kid gets a cold, it's the elders' job to worry about her, that's all. I already know what Oyo-san wants to say. I want her to actually say it, but if I made her, she would definitely get angry. This is more than enough. When she talks about the damn conflict, she doesn't just mean the war they've waged against the construction itself. She's also including how the Hojo family was ostracized after it was over. To be fair, most of that family are pieces of shit and deserve to die by the curse. But anyway, she's saying that the damn conflict is over, including everything that happened as a result of it. And that's why she told me to take care of Satoko-chan. I'm sure Satoko-chan will appreciate your concern. Like that little rascal would ever understand an old person's feelings. Oyo-san left laughing.
Like a mad person.
Like a crazy old green witch. I wasn't the only one watching her leave. Kimiyoshi-san and some other elders did the same.
They just turn to each other and say, so we can stop discriminating now? And then
we can stop the racism and the everything and isolation. They all understand what Oyo-san wanted to say.
I don't know if they do.
The damn conflict is over now. Right this second. Probably Kimiyoshi.
Go for it.
Oh, Satoko-chan is a healthy girl. She's down with fever. It must be a terrible cold. Oh, Dr. Irie, please take care of them. Since we aren't allowed to visit them, please let both of them know. Let both of them know how worried we all are. Sure, they'll be happy to hear that. I vowed to myself, Takano-san is more than likely planning big evil bad things for tomorrow, taking advantage of people's belief in the curse. I can't let that happen. The curse of Oishiro-sama will end before it can happen for an 8th time. I am sure of that.
Mm-hmm.
You got that. What a scene.
What a scene.
What a couple of old nerds.
Proud of them.
Ah! It's time for Oishi. It's time for Kuma-chan. Hope you're ready.
I so hope he's evil after all this time.
You hope he's just like, now I can betray Oishi.
Absolutely.
No, Kuma-chan is a good boy. There's no way.
Don't shatter my hopes and dreams like that.
There's no way. Look, I don't remember. Okay, it's been ages since I've fucking experienced this. Who knows? Maybe he's totally evil. Oishi couldn't accomplish the Trojan Rika operation alone. He would need help from someone else. Oishi called up both Kumagai, oh no, and the old man from forensics, and told them everything. I know that I am repeating myself. I, Higurashi, am repeating myself, but this is a dangerous bridge we're crossing here. It could fall at any moment.
Just for the record, for those of Ben that have forgotten, these are the same two characters who joined them at the restaurant at the beginning anyway.
I know, that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm like, shit, it's the forensics guy.
Okay, good.
That's literally why I made that comment. So don't you worry.
No, forensic guy is going to be good, Kuma's going to be evil. That's what the twist is going to be.
Who knows? We'll have to see. If I get a simple warning, that is okay. But if I get reprimanded, they'll probably take away my pension.
Hey, Oishi. I hear you always gather your colleagues at the mahjong parlor next door and threaten them every time you have a dangerous mission. It's the same old thing, right?
This will be Kuma guy.
I guess it would. Yeah, Oishi. Why don't you say, if you don't want to lose your pension, leave while I count to 10 with more oomph in your voice, like you usually do. Unless you say it that way, it just doesn't sound right.
Well, this seriously is dangerous, Kuma-chan. Are you really prepared to lose your pension?
Why don't you count to 10 then? Fine, I'll count. If you don't want to lose your retirement money, leave before I count to 10.
Hey,
1.
It's not
2,
fair.
3.
Hey. Okay. I got it, Kuma-chan, you're serious. But still, are you sure that you are okay with it?
Yes, I'm really psyched up for what I heard from Akasaka-san the other day. I became a policeman because I believe in justice. Someday I want to be able to talk about the things I've been through like Akasaka-san does. A dangerous mission? That sounds fantastic. Besides, your ideas have never failed before, so if you think this operation will succeed, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I've never gotten killed because of you.
That's right, never, not even once. In any version of reality.
Never. Not even in multiple. I guess, is this Forensics Boy?
I guess it's gotta be Forensics Boy.
I don't remember his voice.
Neither do I.
I think I voiced him, but I don't remember his voice.
So.
How nice it is to be young. You know him. Akasaka's become quite the inspiration for him. He keeps talking about how he wants to be involved in all the secret investigations now.
Sakuma's been flapping his mouth.
I want to know.
Cover's been blown.
Oh no, it's all ruined. Well, it is nice to be young, I guess. And what about you? I'm in. Actually, unless I help you, this operation won't succeed. I've been neglecting my health all those years. Frankly, I don't think I have much longer to live. I'm basically all skin and bones. As a man, I want to do something grand before I cock it. My, you two sure are fearless. That is why you declare rich even with 3 flip door.
What are you saying, Oishi-san? As a man, I can't refuse. If you're going to cut something, cut it right in the middle. That's what you always say.
He's not wrong. No, he's not wrong. I get it. If your necks end up on the line, I will be responsible. I'll have to make some preparations first. You want to start this early tomorrow, You want to start this early tomorrow morning, right? I'll have to check with forensics and the autopsy department. Oishi, when all this is over, you have to treat me to something big, okay? Like a fucking roast pork. Of course, look forward to it, but please make sure to be careful who you talk to, alright? They told me there were some spies at the police station. Kuma just flinches.
Pause for effect.
Don't worry, I know who I can trust. Count me for that at least.
Alright, I'm fired up. My detective spirit is burning bright.
It had taken Oishi all night to come to a decision, but those two had decided immediately. He couldn't help but question himself. What a nerd. Okay. I have errands to run, so I'm going to get going. Kuma-chan, could you please take this old man home? He is very excitable. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming here on your day off, my friend.
Old man.
You think so? Alright. Don't worry about it. Hold on with my voice. It is stuck in the Oishi gear.
What a tragedy.
There we go. It's better. Back in old man mode. No, don't worry about that. It's been a while since something got my blood boiling. In all the years of my life, this is the first big stage to really test my manhood. I'm not afraid. I'm going to enjoy this. You sure that wasn't Kuma-chan? Let us know. Oh, it is old man. No.
You're right.
Boo. Boo. Boo.
They said in all the years of my life.
Boo.
Kuma-chan's only been alive for 1 year.
But that was I thought it was going to be like, this is finally a time to test my own fighting spirit.
No. Well, I mean, dumb. It is, but he's older.
Whatever. It's dumb. Thank you very, very much, old man. Kuma-chan do. Oishi thanked them after seeing them off, although they couldn't hear. Because they were deaf. Because he'd fired his gun.
Because they're all old.
They're all old men. Kima-chan is actually about 60. He's like the oldest.
He's in the youth group.
Yeah, he's in the youth group. They're all in the youth group. That's the secret. That's where all the clones are coming from. I guess going. We don't have enough use. Where do we get more use from? Power up the Oishi cloner.
Exactly.
That's it. Oishi stopped by a flower shop. He bought a bouquet of balloon flowers. Usually the purple ones are the most popular, and Oishi was fond of that color too. But today, he didn't buy the purple flowers. Oh, he's going to go to the... But we got unusual white balloon flowers in Ted.
In Ted.
Indeed. With the bouquet in hand, he headed to the cemetery across from the flower shop. Oishi, what a good boy. Love him. The date was June 18th. The real anniversary would be tomorrow, but as Oishi had to work on Watanagashi every year, he usually commemorated on the previous day instead. It was the day before the anniversary of the death of the old man.
The other old man.
The other old man. The one that isn't speaking right now. The one Oishi considered a best friend, a brother, and father. Oh my god. Every year, I promise you that I'll find you at but I still haven't had any luck yet. Oishi spoke to the grave.
It was bugged. He didn't know.
What a dick move that would be. Like, Takano, how did you uncover our plan? The grave, wink wink, it's like hollowed out. Where's the corpse? That oil drum's full. Oh no. He laid the bouquet of white balloon flowers down on top of it. But I finally got the chance to get close to the truth, you know? It's kind of funny. As it turns out, the Sondasaki family has nothing to do with it. I kept promising you year after year that I would bring you here and have a rough one apology, but I was so wrong this whole time. I don't know what to say. You'd probably smack me if you were here. I thought I knew the winning tiles, and after countless safety cards, I got slammed with a bad hit. If I hadn't made that assumption and focused on filling my hand, then I might have been able to get a big one. I haven't made any progress at all. It's the same with Mahjong. I am a fool for getting ideas into my head and then not doubting them even a little bit. Oishi already had a vague idea. The way Irie had phrased it, he could already guess. There was no dark secret behind the old man's dismemberment murder. The events that followed were separate incidents. That particular murder was an individual incident and it had nothing to do with anything else. Since the main culprit was the only one who wasn't caught, Oishi needed someone to blame, and the mysterious Sonozaki family, who was not a crime family, was the perfect target. The drama of revenge that Oishi believed in never existed. I'm thinking of doing something really dangerous. Considering the risk, there isn't much in terms of reward. If anything, I might find out the truth, but I feel like I can finally forgive myself. Oishi bowed deeply to the grave. And then he heard footsteps behind him. He had to be someone else who knew the old man. That person can't come on the day of the Watanagashi every year either, so they come on the day before, just like Oishi does. They always bring blue hydrangeas. Purple balloon flowers and those blue flowers don't go well together. That's the reason why Oishi always picks white ones. Usually the hydrangeas are already there by the time he arrives, but as Oishi had this secret meeting with Kumagai early in the morning, he came straight to the graveyard afterwards and arrived before this person did. Visiting a grave isn't a race, it's a spiritual matter. Oishi was curious about the other person who brings flowers every year, so he looked up.
Well, there she is.
There she is. Ah! Everybody's here. Well, well. Are you visiting someone's grave too? Oh. Okay.
That's points. That's hard points. That's so many points.
You know what? How many points do you want to take for this?
I want 10 points bad. For that garbage.
I feel really bad.
It was a powerful moment,
wrong.
and Ryukishi just stomped down our dreams.
Fuck you, Ryukishi. It's alright, I'm going to give him his line anyway, because it's a good line. Well, well. Are you visiting someone's grave too? Oishi stated the obvious. But from one glance, he could guess everything. Upon seeing the hydrangeas in her arms, it all made sense. Oh my, aren't you supposed to be working? What are you doing here? Akane Sonozaki laughed as she handed a bouquet of hydrangeas to her daughter Shion. Shion, not knowing what to do, was caught between her mother and Oishi.
Hey, how long are you going to stand there? Come on, move over. Oh, wait, fuck. I hate this.
There's no movement. This is such a good scene, but there's no movement to tell us who's talking.
Well, Akane actually only has one sprite.
I know.
It's like...
I know. I'll just, every time nobody talks, I'll just assume it's her. Like, nobody moves.
All right.
Hey, how long are you going to stand there? Come on, move over. Oishi moved over as told and spoke. So you are the one leaving hydrangeas every year. What, are they poisoned? Aren't they beautiful? They're from my backyard. Hydrangeas are beautiful in June. Your blue flowers are fairly unusual white ones, huh? They're nice.
Mr. Oishi, excuse me, can I put the flowers down?
Shion knelt down in front of the grave and got the flowers ready. She put the hydrangeas in the vase alongside the balloon flowers. The flowers looked beautiful in the vase together, reminding their onlookers that summer was about to start. What a coincidence, they match very well. It makes a nice contrast with the white and the blue. I saw blue hydrangeas every year that I came. I thought blue flowers wouldn't go well with purple ones. I see. Then we should get along just fine, huh? Yeah, I guess. What's the matter? Anything unusual on the x-rays? You're being unusually quiet today, and it's disturbing. Oh, do you think that might be it? Since you've been good to us. I'll bring some hydrangeas to your grave too, don't worry. Oh, I feel like we've... No, that's not right. Shops!
What's going on
What
here?
is going on? Ryukishi, come on! What is happening?
Is this Shion quipping back and forth with her mother?
I guess? Can we have a look back? I want to figure this shit out. This is awful. So frustrating.
It has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Alright.
Oh, you think that might be it? Since you've been good to us, I'll bring some hydrangeas to your grave too, don't worry. By the way, you're still... Actually, no, it makes more sense if it's Shion than her mother.
That's going to be Akane there, which means that, like, who is saying these other lines?
Can we just move on? I just... Oh, it's like it's making it worse.
We haven't finished the line, though! But yes, it's these two, like, chatting together. I guess. Being nerds. Off screen.
Why do we have to look at the clouds, Ryukishi?
Go back. Let me do that line as Akane. That was clearly Akane, that previous line.
You want to?
Let me do that one line. Because I want to talk as this posh lady who is definitely not a murderer.
Well, step to it.
Oh, do you think that might be it? Since you've been good to us, I'll bring some hydrangeas to your grave too, don't worry. Oh, by the way, you still owe us at one of our shops, don't you? I'll bring a bill too. Nah! Oh boy, you two never run out of things to say, do you? Well, I don't plan on leaving this world quite yet. It won't be long until my retirement, but I am still going very strong. I don't know.
Just go with Akane.
Sure. That's good then. As a citizen of Okonomiya, I am glad to hear such reliable words. Their conversation should have been coded in social courtesies. Courtesies such as tell you who's speaking! Yet something felt a little off about it. Just like give me
This has to be Oishi.
It has to be, but like, yeah, okay, good. Can you tell me one thing, please? The Guardians and the old man, the site manager, they didn't get along, did they? So why bring flowers for him? No, we didn't get along at all. We were mighty enemies, right, Shion?
Yeah, the old geezer was a bastard that pissed me off. Bit him, elbowed his stomach, and I even scratched his car with a 10-yen coin.
I hate this.
It has to be her mother.
Yeah, I assume so. Shion, the statute of limitations isn't up yet. Shion stuck out her tongue and hid behind her mother in embarrassment. So if you hated him that much, why do you come here? Well, the damn conflict is over. Although he was our enemy, we did many unpleasant things to him too. What? You don't get it? The war is over now. Even in a rugby game, once a game is over, no one is on opposing sides. Nothing more than that. Akane said it as though it was a normal thing, but Oishi just couldn't understand. First of all, they hated each other. They hated each other, they spat at each other, scratched up each other's cars with 10 yen coins. How could they even feel like bringing flowers to his gravesite? However, Akane said that it was normal. Their moral standards weren't matching up. Actually, you're the one I can't understand. I think the damn conflict has ended, yet in your head it's still going, isn't it? Oh no, it is over for me, he says in denial. I can't even imagine hearing all that noise anymore. You've got to be kidding me. Then what's wrong with the Sonozaki family visiting his gravesite? Come on, move over. I brought something for him too. Akane took out a small package from her bag and put it down in front of the grave. It was a bomb. I see that package every year. What is in it? Oh.
This is ohagi, made specially by the Virago.
Of course it is.
Drinkers usually don't like sweets, so she made them without sugar.
Are you saying that Oyo-san made ohagi for the third manager's anniversary? It's not filled with hot sauce. She does it every year. You did just say that you see it every time you come here, didn't you? Oishi was stunned. Oreo was the biggest hardliner in the Onigafuchi Guardians, no question about that. Oishi believed for a long time that she was the mastermind behind the old man's murder. Because of that, he just couldn't believe that she had been making ohagi every year for his anniversary. If only they had communicated. Hey, don't give me that look. Let's not do this anymore, okay? Do what? Pretend that the Sonozaki family shouldn't visit the site manager's grave. It won't be long now until it's 1990. By then, even the emperor might be dead. How much longer are you planning to drag out this war, which has already ended? Please, I don't even want to think about the damn conflict. There's nothing better than peace. The government was at fault. They should think about what they've done, but we were at fault too. That's why we have regrets. And when things are done, that's it. There's no point dragging them out. We need to wrap up the era of our forefathers, and young people need to create a new one. What happened was very unfortunate, and I regret that the old man had to die. If he was still alive, we could have shared a toast together and made up, but he's dead, so we can't reconcile. I think that's very sad. Well, that's what happens when someone dies. But you're still alive. That's right, I am, and so are you. Then maybe a day will come when we can get along, huh? Well, I don't know about that, Shion, why don't you give this to the priest, and then wait in the car, okay?
Sure.
Yay, one less character in the scene. Good.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. There'll be no more confusion. Akane took out an envelope from her pocket and gave it to Shion. Is that the Sonozaki millions? Shion took the envelope, bowed to Oishi, and then ran off. During the damn conflict, I thought she was such a feisty little girl. She sure is grown up. How long do you think it's been since then? She's hit puberty and we even went bra shopping together. She isn't a little girl anymore. That's how long it's been. Yeah, many years have passed. Time is dense for young people, but diluted for old folks. The old ones are the ones who don't change, but young people keep growing, and before we know it, they pass us by. Then we simply withdraw ourselves and watch over them. See how it works? Yeah, I guess. I can't believe I'm getting a talking to from the Dark Princess of Shishibone, Higurashi Sonozaki. Hey, I can't believe you still remember that name. I am a lady of Shishibone nowadays, you know? I'd appreciate it if you kept that name to yourself. Yeah, I guess since the damn conflict is over now, huh? That's right. It's all over. The two of them watched Shion and the priest exchange words and bribery money in front of the main temple building. Both were silent, but the air between them was comforting. There was no breeze, and a cabbage-white butterfly flitted around them. You're supposed to be at work, but how about around? Up for some fresh, cool sake? Huh, maybe not today. I have to drive, and so do you, right? Oh, that's too bad. Well, maybe next time, huh? Yeah, next time. Something that had been sitting inside Oishi for a long time had started to dissipate. Something that had coagulated was melting away. I better get going. Your daughter is waiting too, right? Yes, she is. We've gone through a lot, but let's forget about it all. How about that? We'll have a party one of these days. We will. Akane turned around with a big smile on her face, but all of a sudden it changed into an impish grin. Hey, Officer Oishi, since we made up just now, I got a traffic ticket yesterday and I was so mad that I ripped it in half. Do you think you can do something about that? Just go to the nearest police station for that. Maybe I can give you a priority spot in the waiting line. What are friends even for, huh? Their laughter echoed under the blue sky. And scene.
Well, that was like really cute and all, but also like,
it wasn't so
what
hard
the fuck
to
was
read.
The delivery in that?
Yeah, like I liked the scene. I liked that we got like, hey, first off, Akane came back, which is always fun, and I guess Shion was there too, but whatever. But like, you know, seeing these old farts just be like, let's make up, and that seems to be just what we're doing now. Now that we're in like the final, like, you know, pre-evil music shit of this arc, apparently, judging by what we're hearing, like we're just watching all of the good characters, like, I mean, we had the scene with like Akasaka and Tomitaki and Oishi, like, let's band together and do the right thing. But it's not just that; it's like all these characters who were supposed to be antagonistic are like making up and like uncovering their true feelings and like. This is something that I really appreciate about Ryukishi's work, is that he's not just preaching communication through like the conflicts of the story, but he's actively showing how these characters have come together. How Oreo is like finally admitting that she like cares about Sadako because she's sick. And Akane has been the person who's been delivering the flowers because she, you know, does have some regret over the way that the dam conflict ended, like in the circumstances that it did.
I do wish we'd had a scene of Oishi going to the grave and seeing the flowers before this.
Previously?
Just so that it'd give this scene that little extra juice.
I mean, it's probably one of those things that he's come up with, like, as he's writing Arc 8, if I had to guess.
I completely agree.
I mean, that's the vibe of, like, quite a few of, not all the scenes in this story, obviously, but a lot of the scenes, he's like, I need these characters to be friends now. What's the, like, most logical way for that to happen? You know? That's fine. Like, I'm enjoying it a lot. Yeah. I'm having a great old time seeing more of Oishi, and Shion is also there.
Yeah, I think, I mean, as I said, it'd be good to have, you know, that extra scene to kind of pump up the juice a bit. And it's the kind of thing where, like, in a digital work like this, it'd be much easier to go back and, like, change it. Like,
oh, no. Don't suggest the George Lucas approach. Don't you dare.
Here's the difference, though. Here's the difference.
Oh, no.
Here's the difference.
What's the difference?
Is that Ryukishi has the tips.
It's true.
That's a tool that he has given himself.
It's true.
It is basically the perfect excuse to go back in and add extra foreshadowing. And also, as a marketing tool, how good is it to say, like, you know, to accompany Arc 8, we have extra scenes dropping into these earlier arcs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, obviously for people who were reading along with the story at the time it came out, it would have made a few things obvious. Yeah. But I still think, like, you know, there was a comfortable bit of room for some of these scenes to actually be improved without tainting previous parts of the series.
I mean, it'd be funny if there was an opportunity for Ryukishi to retell the events of the previous arcs, but with extra stuff based on the fact that he's, you know, pitching this story to people that have never experienced Higurashi before, but also people who have read all of Higurashi and also Umineko.
Which property are you taking a dig at? Are we talking the first anime?
I'm talking
about the second anime? Are we talking about Umineko?
No, I'm talking
about the gacha games.
At a specific moment, I'm talking about the new anime, which has like, apparently it's like following Onukakashi like pretty closely from what I understand. I haven't watched the third episode yet.
That's right.
I've only watched the first two, but it's following that arc structure. It's like adding in new stuff. It's introducing like Umineko concepts from what I can tell. I'm looking forward to it. But I mean, it's not the only project that's like doing that though. Like the Final Fantasy VII remake did that, which is crazy that they were like, we're going to remake Final Fantasy VII, but it's also going to have a bunch of new stuff, including canonizing itself as a sequel to the original Final Fantasy story. Spoilers, by the way, Final Fantasy VII remake.
The interesting thing to me about...
I haven't played it myself, but that's what I've heard.
The interesting thing to me about Ryukishi's structure, particularly though, is that I think Umineko did a good job of at least letting a few of the arcs stand on their own. And this is a question I've raised in previous recaps, right? Whereas in this story, like, it's not a complete tale unless you've read the lot.
Mm.
And it's interesting to me because unlike Dear Georgie Boy going back and changing movies that had already been released and were more or less standalone stories, here Ryukishi is kind of, you know, he's not edited the previous chapters of the same story to my mind.
No, he's adding stories on top of it.
Yeah, which is like, you know, it's just a weird thing to consider because I think that so many of the ideas that he's had, that he's discovered as he's gone on, have been good but poorly implemented because they weren't foreshadowed earlier. Sure. And whilst that is really interesting as a case study, as we've covered a lot, because we can kind of unpack how he came up with things, when things happened, when he was kind of coming up with certain ideas and all of that. It's just fascinating that in a property that really, I think, would have lent itself to him going back and making those additions, making those changes, and, you know, actually kind of in the same way that a lot of modern authors, and particularly like web novel authors, let the audience kind of poke and make suggestions to like clean up the edit a bit.
Can I bring up a very specific example of a property that I think incorporates like this kind of like editing and like recursive storytelling really well? I've mentioned this a couple of times. I'm still reading it because it's just a great time. Elguni's Shive, which is the totally safe for work, wholesome novel about people who can like polyform themselves basically at will all the time, and they always have gigantic breasts. It's a thing.
Terrible.
It's just a thing that happens. Don't question it. But my point is, one of the things that the author Dan Shive has been actually doing, they've gone back and they've like written commentary for all of their previous like comics that they've written. So they wrote and drew comics for like 5 years. And then we're like, so not only am I going to start just writing a commentary, you know, for the comics that I'm making now, but they went back to the old catalog and started working from the beginning and forward. So not only do you get a lot of context around like what decisions they're making creatively, and sometimes they'll say like, if you think you know what's in the box of this particular comic, like what you think the mystery is, what the answer is, let me know on Twitter. And you can reward yourself with a cookie if you're right. It's just a thing that he does. But they do that a lot. And not only that, but whenever you get to a part of the comic where the comic like references an event from 10 years ago, there'll be a little link that's like, this story comic will tell you what this character's about. So you can sort of educate yourself on the context if you're like just jumping into the comic like now. You can like go back and read the previous story arcs that are relevant to that part of the story. And I really like the way that that's kind of put together, I guess, just for like ease of use. And so if you are trying to get into this like 10 years old, like more comic or webcomic, whatever, like you have a basis for that and you can just jump in if you really want to.
Yeah, it's one of the fascinating things I've not seen a lot of web literature do, is take advantage of the medium in that way to improve the reader experience. For example, like, you know, you come in and read a book and there's going to be certain points where it like explains terminology or whatever.
Yep.
And, exactly, you know, why not have like a database that explains the less important terminology that doesn't really lend itself thematically to scenes, so that, you know, you have like the wiki alongside your website, or you have like a checkbox on your website that like changes from the like in fiction to out of fiction names of things. Sure. So when readers are coming through, they can kind of see the ideas develop. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really weird because I think that for Ryukishi, I think his story would have been really good if it had that extra editorial view over by his audience a little bit. But at the same time, I feel like Ryukishi, being the softy he seems to be, wouldn't actually kind of be able to hold his ground against his audience if, because he writes very responsive to his audience, and it seemingly not like disagrees with them, but has kind of different take on certain things he's written in his stories.
Absolutely.
I think that like whilst his story as just an idea would have been really strong if it had that extra editorial touch by the people who are reading it, it would have been so much different because I don't think Ryukishi would have been able to hold as firm on the things that, you know, have ended up working now that he's kind of had the time to flesh them out a bit.
Sure. I mean, I totally agree with that. Obviously, you know, if you want to see an example of Ryukishi did like make significant changes, you should look at some of his other works. I'm not going to mention what those works are, but I think you should go check them out because they're interesting. It is really interesting to see Ryukoshi and like, you know, see where his head's at, where he starts a series and where he finishes it.
Yeah.
And also, as we've talked about on previous recaps, about how his perspective on like whether or not the audience should be told answers to the mysteries explicitly or not, and like, you know, how complicated the riddle should be, you know, all those sorts of things. Whether or not he needs to, you know, explicitly address Nox and Van Dyne, like his opinion on not just quality of his writing and the murder mysteries that he creates, but also his own like meta sort of perspective on, you know, how they should be written and how they should be consumed has changed so much from story to story.
As always, if you're concerned about who Nox and Van Dyne are and you're not familiar, I'll put links in the description to our breakdowns on Death of the Reader. They're kind of murder mystery theorists. Yeah. But I guess one of the other interesting things on that front too is that like, you know, one of the interesting things, I don't know the technical like academic term for this, but like product theory or whatever it is, where you want to design something that your audience doesn't know they want. Okay, and that's the really interesting thing about writing by committee is a lot of the time you'll end up with a better product in terms of technical decisions because people are able to point and say, well, hey, this is clunky, this is weird. But if you start adopting the ideas of the audience in terms of how it's going to build itself, then you're creating the product that they think they want.
I mean, a movie that like did the total opposite of that is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 2. I think it's called like The Bogus Journey.
Yes.
I think that's it, The Bogus Journey. Like those two movies have such a similar sense of humor, but also stylistically are completely separate. Like the first movie is like practical sets and like so down to earth in terms of its presentation. Most of the humor comes from like historical jokes and fart jokes, which is a great blend. But then the second movie comes along and there's like psychedelic fever dreams and like weird camera angles that don't make any sense.
And a lot of bad CG.
Well, you know, it's not bad necessarily. But
it's
like,
dated.
It's dated. But the decisions they make in almost every scene, like there's a wash or there's weird camera angles and lighting being used in the shot. Like, I'm not a director, obviously. I can't comment incredibly closely, but like, I imagine that if you had like gotten a committee on, but so what do you want to see in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure 2? They'd be like, I want to see this person from history and I want to see them go to this time period. And like, if you just listened to what people wanted from the first movie, you wouldn't have had The Bogus Journey.
No.
It would never have been a thing. And it's arguably like a better movie for it.
That's one of the interesting things when it comes to like focus groups, when we're talking about professional media, is that focus groups are exactly that. They are giving the audience what they think they want rather than what they don't realize they want.
Yeah.
And
what they would actually like pay a ton of money for.
Like obviously there are some movies that have been put through focus groups that have been improved for it, but you never fucking hear about them because it's subtle. Yeah. You always hear about the movies that get focus grouped to death.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I think that writing by committee is a really useful tool that we have access to in the modern day.
It's like anything. It's like a fart joke. Like it's a tool that you can use, but if you use fart jokes all the time, then you suck.
Yeah.
You know, if you just take whatever somebody else says and just do whatever they say, then you have a bland, awful product that nobody will buy.
The exception being Dungeons and Dragons. Because if your party comes up with a better idea than you, just go with it. Just go with it.
Oh my God. I mean, my most recent episode of that was I was running a game of Blades in the Dark, which is the best role-playing game.
Just play Blades.
And I had this whole thing where like there's this like secret society and I like written down who all the members were. And I was like, and then this is the moment where, you know, this like inspector guy who's like trying to get in on their turf and like steal this like magic artifact from this deal. It was a whole thing. And I was like, oh, this is the moment when the inspector comes out and I blow the players' minds. And I said to, you know, I was talking, I was like, and then the door like creaks open and out steps a character who I know you're all waiting for. And I was about to say the inspector and they say, oh, it's that banker guy. And I was like, yes, the banker guy. It's him. That's who it is. It's like,
why not?
Yeah, why not? Sure, it's the bank guy. And so rather than it being like a bloody battle with this like badass Sherlock Holmes inspector dude, it was just this fat banker man like, don't take my magic sword. I need that. It was great. It meant that I just made the like supernatural threats in the scene a lot more threatening and threw out throughout the like martial arts fight. We don't need that.
We don't need that.
We don't need that. We need a fat banker man to be like, oh, don't hurt me, but I also want my magical sword.
It is always such an interesting judgment call to make when you're playing a tabletop role-playing game.
Yeah.
About like, is the idea that has just been pitched to me better than my own? And you have a fucking millisecond to make that decision, because if you dwell on it, they know. Yeah. They know you're considering it.
I mean, it was a kind of a funny moment because for me, it wasn't like this is an objectively better idea, but they were excited for it. And I felt as though the story would make sense either way. Yeah. So I was like, fuck it, whatever. I'll have a few moments like while, you know, they're rolling their dice and like, I'm, you know, whatever's happening there, to flick through my notes and remind myself, like, what are the bank man's goals? What does he want here? And that sort of thing. But yeah, point is, play role-playing games.
What are the bank man's goals?
I don't remember his name, but he was in charge of this casino. He was
right. No,
he was
too far.
He was part of the same group. It was great. It was part of the like evil secret society. They wanted to summon a demon. It was great. Anyway.
Next time indeed.